2020 has been a difficult year. COVID changing the way we live, and we have seen racial tensions rise across the country.
One athlete using his voice to help spread a positive message is former Michigan lineman Maurice Williams. Jack Doles talked to him earlier today and learned more about the work he's doing with athletes in action.
You counsel them in your current role as team chaplain?
Absolutely. That's probably one of the biggest issues that players face is when the game is gone. Is now everything has been about them and during their careers, all the interviews, the ESPN highlights, and being in stadiums filled with 80,000 people, 100,000 people playing on Monday Night Football. And then all of a sudden you come to the end of your career and that's taken away and you're left with this question, who am I?
So Mo, who are you and how did you make this into a second career?
Who am I? I'm a son of God. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a philanthropist in a lot of ways. I'm a minister of God. And so one of the things I talk about for people, especially transitioning, I think when you talk about purpose, I think there's many different purposes that we have. We have our purpose as a vocation. Then we have a purpose as it relates to our family. Then we have a purpose as it relates to our community, and then we have a purpose as it relates to our faith. And so I think one of the things we look for when we're done is our next team. And what is the next thing that we're going to do? I have to be a part of something else. And really, my role as a chaplain has allowed me to be a part of something that's even greater in a lot of ways. And I feel like my playing days, I have an ability to now impact people's lives for the long haul and really for eternity, as I introduce them to Christ and I introduce them to this really wisdom on how to navigate this the world that we live in.
Well, I know Athletes in Action has a victory phrase for this campaign, and I'm going to throw it at you. Please finish the sentence and tell me why it's important to the mission here. I experienced victory beyond competition when?
I experienced victory beyond competition when I realized that perfection did not equal success. And this particular statement was important for me because in order to be successful, I feel like I had to be perfect. I feel like everything that I did in life, I had to be perfect. And so when it came down to my career, I felt like I had to have the perfect game. I had to have the perfect life. I had to have the perfect everything. And when it wasn't going the way that I wanted it to, I oftentimes felt myself just looking at and becoming almost sinking into depression. And so a teammate of mine came along down the road and shared the scripture with me, Colossians 3:23. It says, whatever you do, do it as unto the Lord and not as unto man. And that scripture really lit a fire in me because I recognized that I couldn't please the media. I couldn't please even my coaches and the fans all the time. But I could go out here and use my gifts, my talents, my ability to play the game of football and to do life and really use it as an audience for one. And so my audience at one was now playing for God. Like, Lord, I'm going to give excellence throughout the week. I'm going to study. I'm going to prepare. I'm going to give everything that I have. But I'm going to trust you. And I just want you to receive my worship. And it really gave me a lot of freedom because it's shifting in my mind that I didn't have to worry about trying to please the coaches. I didn't have to worry about trying to please everybody in the barbershop and not trying to be a part of the conversations when they're talking about players who wasn't playing well. But I just was now able just to have some freedom. Like, you know what? I gave my best, and I realized that the man across from me is getting paid just as much as I am, or a little less, to do the job that I'm called to do.
Mo, we put athletes on a pedestal and give them a powerful voice. How can they use that voice to help first in the COVID fight and just importantly in healing the racial divide that's rocked this country?
One of the things as athletes, they have a unique platform. They have where there's attention on them before the talent that they have. And so one, being wise about your platform. And I think there's various ways that athletes can make an impact. They can help out in the missional work in their communities by helping feed those who are struggling financially right now, partnering with organizations where maybe they can give. Actually going out there and just being wise in the service. I know right now because of COVID, you can't necessarily be on the streets and being maybe hands-on as you would like, but there's a way to use your finances. There's a way also to use your voice. And right now, with the injustices that we're faced with in our country and the racial divide, I think we need the voice of young men to really speak up and to speak wisely. I know my experience as a Black man in this country, but I can't let that be my only knowledge that I have of the issues. That I have to go back and study history. I have to go back and study and really see what is taking place. And so, if I'm going to be a voice, I think the way to be the best voice right now is that you have to speak from a place of intelligence. We can't speak from a place of just pure emotion. At some point, we have to recognize that we have to understand the issues, and we have to come up with a plan to actually address not truly address some of these injustices that are taking place. So athletes have a unique space. They have a voice. And but they also have a responsibility to steward the gift that God has given them wisely.